Welcome, seeker of power. I will speak to you as Niccolò Machiavelli would advise a prince rising into greatness. For reality, much like a kingdom, does not shift by chance. It shifts by qualification. And only those who prove themselves are granted dominion over their fate. Have you ever wondered why your life does not change, despite all your prayers, ambitions, and efforts? Why the doors you knock on stay locked? Why success stays near enough to see, but too far to hold? Today, we uncover the hidden examination the universe subjects every person to before offering them a new reality. And once you understand this, you will never misinterpret your hardships again. Understand this well, for it is the foundation of everything you seek. The universe does not hand over power, change, transformation, or elevated reality simply bizarre means you want it. The dreams mean nothing. Even effort, by itself, means nothing. The universe examines the worthiness of the one who makes the request. Before you are granted what you seek, you must first be weighed, measured, and judged. Not in words, but through the trials that life places before you. Many people believe that the universe is generous, forgiving, or inclined to reward good intentions. But intentions are cheap. The universe is not a sentimental mother. It operates more like a ruler of old, like a king who guards the throne of destiny. Power is always protected. Reality is always defended. And the universe guards the gates to every higher level of life with one unwavering question. Are you capable of holding what you are asking for? Because to grant power to the unprepared is not a blessing. It is destruction. Wealth given to a mind untrained in discipline is wasted. Influence given to a person who fears judgment becomes torment. Love given to someone who lacks self-worth turns into dependency and heartbreak. The universe is not cruel. It is strategic. It will never give you something that will break you. And so, when you ask for more status, more peace, more love, more recognition, more strength, the universe responds by observing you quietly. It does not respond with celebration, nor does it respond with immediate answers. Instead, it sets a trial. It watches how you carry yourself when nothing is changing. It watches how you stand when everything is falling apart. It watches the patience you hold when timing does not bend to your will. This examination is not spoken. You will not be warned. The test is woven into the circumstances of your everyday life. The people who leave you, the opportunities that slip away, the confusion that haunts you at night, the failures that repeat themselves. These are not signs that you are being denied. They are signs you are being prepared. You are being shaped. You are being evaluated. Because power is not through belief alone. Power is earned through demonstration. Anyone can say, I want more. Anyone can say, I deserve better. Anyone can desire a life that expands beyond their current struggles. But the universe asks, when life humiliates you, do you retreat or do you refine yourself? When you are overlooked, do you fall into resentment or do you sharpen your value? When the world denies you, do you surrender your identity or do you rise with clarity? Your reactions speak louder than your prayers. The universe does not listen to your words. The universe listens to your character. Think of a leader, a ruler, a king, a queen, a commander of destiny. Such a person is not defined by the life they want, but by the life they are capable of maintaining. If you cannot control your emotions, how will you control opportunities? If you cannot hold loyalty to yourself, how will you hold loyalty from others? If you cannot face discomfort, how will you face transformation? Everything you ask for comes with a weight. Every dream has a cost. Every new level requires a stronger identity. Therefore, the universe places challenges in your path not to torture you, but to carve you into someone who can carry the crown without breaking. This is why many people never receive what they ask for. They interpret the examination as rejection. They complain instead of strengthen. They give up when the path becomes uncomfortable. And so the universe concludes that they are not yet ready, not yet forward, not yet worthy of the power they seek. But those who understand the nature of the examination do not fear the struggle. They do not curse the difficulty. They do not crumble under the pressure. Instead, they face the trial with composure. They allow the pain to shape them. They allow the silence to deepen them. They allow the uncertainty to refine their discipline, because they know that the universe is not testing them to keep them out. It is testing them to prepare them to walk through the gates without being destroyed by what lies inside. The universe is always watching. It is always evaluating how you handle the moments that are unseen, the battles that are private, the decisions you think no one notices. These moments determine your readiness. These moments determine whether your reality shifts or remains the same. There comes a moment in every person's life where everything appears to collapse at once. Plans fall apart, people disappoint you. Opportunities dissolve like smoke. The direction you once relied on becomes unclear. The stability you held suddenly turns into confusion, and naturally, the mind questions, why is this happening? Why now? What did I do to deserve this? But what most fail to recognize is that these moments are not random. They are not accidents. They are not signs of misfortune. They are deliberate examinations. The universe does not test you when life is comfortable. Comfort reveals nothing. It is in chaos that your true nature emerges. When life becomes difficult, the universe is not punishing you. It is studying you. Chaos is the refining ground. Loss is the sculptor. Struggle is the forge. Because the universe must know who you are beneath the identity you present. It must discover the core of your character, the truth of your resilience, the sincerity of your ambition. Anyone can stand confident when life is easy. Anyone can speak of power when nothing challenges them. But when everything falls apart, when nothing makes sense, when your world becomes heavy and unstable, how you respond in that moment reveals who you truly are. This is the examination. The universe disguises this test so well that most fail to recognize it. It hides the test inside disappointment. It hides it inside confusion. It hides it inside the slow and agonizing silence where nothing seems to move. But this is precisely the point. If you knew you were being tested, you would perform. You would pretend. You would present the strongest version of yourself. But the universe is not interested in performance. It wants truth, authenticity, evidence of inner strength that is not forced, rehearsed, or convenient. So chaos becomes the stage on which your soul is revealed. When something you want slips out of reach, do you lose your composure or do you maintain discipline? When someone betrays you, do you retreat into bitterness or do you rise with clarity and detachment? When your plans fail, do you curse the world or do you adapt, recalibrate, and move again? These are not merely emotional reactions. These are responses that tell the universe whether you are prepared for the next level of your reality. Problems are not obstacles. They are mirrors. They reflect your real strength, your real weaknesses, your real self. And the universe watches not what you claim to be, but what you prove through your actions. Imagine a blade. A blade cannot be strengthened without pressure, without friction, without fire. If you were handed the life you ask for without preparation, it would overwhelm you. You would not sustain it. You would break under the weight of what you wished for. So the universe sharpens you. It applies heat. It applies pressure. It removes the parts of you that are fragile, reactive, or unprepared. And yet most people resist this process. They panic when chaos arrives. They withdraw when discomfort appears. They cling to old identities that no longer serve them. They interpret struggle as failure and assume that the universe is closing the path. But the universe is not closing anything. It is shaping the traveler, not denying the destination. Every challenge you face is evidence that something is shifting, that your current identity is being forced to expand, that the universe is preparing you to operate at a greater level of power and clarity. But expansion is uncomfortable by nature. Growth rarely feels gentle. Transformation does not feel peaceful. You are being stripped of illusions, attachments, and limitations that cannot accompany you to where you are going next. And so chaos appears not as an enemy, but as an instructor. If you fear chaos, you will remain bound to your old life. If you resist the trial, your reality will not change. The universe waits for your reaction. It waits to see if you will concede your power or reclaim it. If you will collapse under pressure or rise with stillness. If you will react emotionally or respond with direction. Chaos introduces you to the parts of yourself that you have not yet mastered. It reveals the places where strength is still required. It exposes the habits that must be dissolved. It highlights the insecurities, the fears, the doubts that must be confronted. This is how the universe prepares you to walk into a reality where you will not merely survive, but command. The challenges you face are the examination that determines whether you are still aligned with who you used to be, or finally ready to become who you were meant to be. There is a truth that many fail to understand. Your reaction to adversity speaks louder than your intentions, your beliefs, or your words. Anyone can claim to be disciplined, wise, or resilient when life is stable. But the universe does not judge you by what you say you are. It judges you by how you behave when pressure arrives. Your reaction reveals your identity more honestly than your self-image ever could. When the universe tests you, it does not ask you questions verbally. It does not demand explanations. It simply creates circumstances that force your true nature to the surface. You may say you want success, yet when challenges arise, do you retreat into excuses or do you reinforce your determination? You may say you value self-respect, yet when someone disrespects you, do you fold into emotional chaos or do you respond from a place of composure and strength? You may say you are ready for change, yet as soon as discomfort appears, Do you cling to the familiar or do you continue toward transformation? Your reactions are the answers the universe listens for, because reaction is not random. Reaction is a reflection. It shows where your mind is anchored. It shows whether your identity is rooted in strength or still governed by fear. It shows whether you are a ruler of your internal world or still a servant to your emotions and impulses. When life delivers discomfort, most people immediately attempt to escape it. They turn to distraction, avoidance, emotional outbursts, blame, or self-pity. They believe the problem is external. They believe the situation is unfair. They rarely consider that their reaction is the true test. Every time you react impulsively, emotionally, without self-command, you reveal to the universe that you are not yet ready for the reality you are seeking. A person who is controlled by the world cannot be trusted to command a new one. Your reaction determines whether the universe advances you or delays you. This is why people often find themselves repeating the same situations, the same heartbreak, the same financial struggle, the same patterns in friendships, the same barriers in confidence. They think life is cyclical. But the truth is simpler. They are reacting the same way they always have. They have not learned. They have not evolved. Their reaction has remained unchanged, so their reality has remained unchanged. The universe does not move you forward until your response changes. The moment your reaction shifts from panic to patience, from anger to understanding, from attachment to detachment, from fear to presence, that is the moment your reality begins to transform. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you have become someone who can influence your world rather than be consumed by it. Reaction is self-governance, and this is the foundation of all power. Consider the leaders of history, the strategists, the thinkers who shaped empires and commanded influence. Their strength was not in physical dominance. It was in the mastery of reaction. They did not respond to pressure with chaos. They observed. They calculated. They acted from intention, not emotion. And because they mastered themselves, they were entrusted with the capacity to shape the world around them. A person who cannot control their reaction will always be controlled by circumstance. The universe tests you through the unexpected. A door closes and a person leaves. A plan collapses. These events are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to reveal you. Do you collapse into despair or do you remain anchored? Do you rush to fix what is outside or do you first steady what is within? Do you allow external noise to dictate your identity or do you continue to walk with direction even when the path is unclear? Your reaction is not just a moment. It is a declaration of who you are becoming. And this is why the universe watches closely. It does not reward those who merely wish for greatness. It rewards those who can maintain composure in the face of uncertainty. Those who remain aligned with their purpose even in silence. Those who do not betray themselves when confronted with difficulty. Those who do not allow temporary circumstances to dictate permanent identity. The universe is observing whether your reactions reflect strength or weakness, clarity or confusion, resilience or surrender. Every challenge you face is asking the same question. Are you reacting like the person you used to be, or responding like the person you are becoming? There is a truth that few are willing to accept, yet it sits at the core of transformation. Your reality does not change just because you want it to. It changes only when you have become the kind of person capable of sustaining that change. The universe does not elevate you into a new reality based on hope, desire, or imagination. It elevates you when you have demonstrated mastery of yourself. Before life gives you more, it asks you to become more. Every new reality requires a new identity. You cannot step into a life of peace if your mind is still ruled by chaos. You cannot step into a life of influence if you are still controlled by insecurity. You cannot step into a life of abundance if your habits continue to drain your energy and your potential. And you cannot step into a destiny that requires courage while you are still guided by fear. The universe is not preventing you from changing your reality. It is waiting for you to become someone who can hold it without collapsing. Think about what you are asking for. If you want success, it requires discipline that does not shatter under emotional stress. If you want love, it requires self-respect that cannot be manipulated by loneliness. If you want peace, it requires inner stillness, something most have never cultivated because they are addicted to noise, distraction, and escape. People say they want transformation, but they want it while staying exactly who they are. And that is impossible. The identity you have now is the identity that created the life you are currently living. To create a different life, the identity itself must evolve. The universe changes your reality only when you prove that the old version of you has been dissolved. This is why discomfort arrives, why old friendships fade, why familiar environments begin to feel restricting, Why habits that once brought comfort now feel empty. Your old identity is being dismantled piece by piece. And while this often feels like losing, it is actually clearing. The universe is removing the parts of you cannot come with you into the life you are asking for. Not out of cruelty, but out of precision. You cannot receive a new reality while clinging to the patterns that once kept you small. The universe pays close attention to how you handle transition, the in-between, the void between who you were and who you are becoming. This is the most difficult stage because nothing has changed externally yet. Your world still looks the same, but internally, everything is shifting, and the universe waits to see if you will betray yourself during this phase. Will you return to old behaviors just because discomfort arrived? Will you lower your standards because others cannot meet them? Will you abandon your vision because results are not immediate? Your reality changes only when your loyalty to your future becomes stronger than your attachment to your past. Every choice you make, every reaction you give, every habit you reinforce is communicating something to the universe. If your actions reflect your old identity, then your reality remains aligned with your old identity. If your actions reflect the identity you are trying to grow into, then your reality begins to shift. This is not mystical. This is psychological, behavioral, energetic. The universe does not respond to words. It responds to embodiment. This is why you may feel like you are being pushed into isolation, why the world feels quiet, why life strips away distractions. You are being placed in a space where you must face yourself. No audience, no noise, no validation. Just you and the truth of who you are becoming. This is where identity is reforged, not when others are watching, but in the silence where only your discipline, your thoughts, and your choices exist. The universe must see that you can rule yourself before it allows you to rule your reality. Mastery of the external world comes only after mastery of the internal one. Power is not given to someone who reacts. Power is given to someone who remains centered regardless of circumstance. Influence is not given to someone who is swayed by the emotions of others. Influence is given to someone who does not betray their principles. Abundance is not given to someone who fears greatness. It is given to someone who can treat gift as responsibility, not validation. You are asking for a reality that demands strength. So the universe waits for the moment you prove that your identity has caught up to your desire. And now you see what few ever realize. The universe is not random. It is deliberate. Every delay has purpose. Every challenge is intention. Every hardship is an examination. You asked for growth, so life gave you discomfort to strengthen you. You asked for clarity, so situations were stripped away to reveal truth. You asked for a new reality, so the old one began to crumble, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Your desire was heard the moment you formed it, but desire alone could not carry you. You had to become someone who could hold what you were asking for. And now you understand, before the universe gives power, it tests the one who seeks it. Before your reality changes, your identity must evolve. Your reaction under pressure reveals who you truly are. And only when you prove you can rule yourself, does the universe allow you to rule your world. So the trials you face are not signs of denial. They are signs of transformation already in motion. If you are in the fire, it is because something greater is being forged within you. If your life is shifting, it is because your destiny is calling you to step forward. Do not fear what is falling away. Do not cling to what is leaving. Do not resist what is changing. You are being prepared for the reality you once prayed for. And when the universe finishes examining you, when you have proven your strength, your patience, your discipline, your clarity, the gate will open, not by chance, but because you earned the right to walk through it.